The Chinese company Sany Group is a large world supplier of special equipment. In early 2016, the company held a spectacular show to show the capabilities of their vehicles. A lot of tricks were performed, thanks to both the skill of the operators and the excellent hydraulic systems. It was a demonstration of the highest accuracy of work and thoroughly accurate control of each movement. At the beginning of the show, 6 excavators showed their synchronization abilities. The movement of the boom and the bucket, as well as the rotation around its axis, were carried out with great accuracy. The operators also demonstrated that, using its bucket, the machines can be raised at an angle of over 45 degrees, balancing on 2 wheels, on the back of the track, and even on just one track. The excavators lined up, forming bizarre figures together and showing high control over the movements of the bucket and boom. It's worth noting the strength of the fastening parts. For example, the excavators can balance in the air, relying only on the blade and boom, and they can easily withstand a weight of more than 20 tons. To demonstrate the accuracy of the excavator bucket movement, a brush was attached to the vehicle, and the operator was able to draw a few hieroglyphs on paper. It also turned out that with the help of an excavator, you can open bottles without damaging them, and even pour some drinks. Another way to demonstrate the accuracy and great control of the machine is by cutting some fruit. The patency of special equipment plays an important role on the construction site. That's why the demonstration of the excavator, the SY75C9, was carried out in particularly difficult conditions. The vehicle climbed up a hill using its bucket for support, and even managed to drive along a narrow platform on just one caterpillar. The same vehicle proved that the vehicle can overcome different obstacles, like large stairs, despite its impressive dimensions. To test the accuracy and compactness of its 3017D-CR mini excavator, Caterpillar did a demonstration on a china shop. The room of glassware and porcelain had an overall value of $45,000. The operator had to face many tasks of varying complexity. The first was to drive through a narrow doorway without touching the door frame or the walls. In the small first room, the vehicle had to turn without the bucket touching any single plate. The next task was to turn around neatly and drive through a narrow passage connecting the storerooms. The most difficult process of the demonstration, though, was held in the main room, packed with tables and showcases. The operator had to grab a glass from a table using the teeth of the bucket. After that, the glass was carefully lifted and placed on a pyramid of glass. This spectacular show featuring different excavators was held in 2016 by another Chinese company that produces special equipment. The XCMG vehicles demonstrated amazing synchronization and maneuverability. First, the operators managed to achieve an amazing coordination, despite the fact that the excavators were in an extremely unstable position, relying only on the angle of the caterpillars and the bucket. People were used, so to speak, to demonstrate the accuracy of the vehicle when performing various manipulations. So, grabbing it by the visor, the operator removed a cap from a man. To show the extremely accurate control of the bucket, different bottles were opened and then a successful basketball shot was made. Also, using special attachments, the excavator very carefully moves some glasses from one table to another, pouring drinks in them. The final stage of the demonstration was drawing. However, the XCMG used a wide sponge instead of a fine brush. Caterpillar never tires of coming up with interesting and unusual ways to demonstrate the almost limitless possibilities of its vehicles. So, the demonstration that you see on the screen features the hydraulic excavators 320E and 349E, the loaders the TH514C and the 277D, as well as the wheel excavator M316D. These massive vehicles, weighing from 4 to 53 tons, played a game known as Jenga. 27 blocks were used to create the tower, each weighing 272 kilograms. At first, the loaders moved blocks out of the tower, and then with the help of the excavators, they were grabbed and lifted up. After a while, the loaders weren't high enough to do the job, so an excavator with special attachments was used to move the blocks. At the same time, the work was carried out with the highest accuracy, because a careless or abrupt movement could lead to the collapse of the entire tower. It's worth noting that in the end, the design collapsed not because of careless actions of the operator, but because of its instability. In the spring of 2016, Chinese company XCMG organized a real dance battle between a man and an excavator. This unusual and spectacular event was a cool way to demonstrate the capabilities of this vehicle. The ET110 excavator was chosen as the dancer, receiving the name of Iron Spider because of the unusual design of its wheels. The vehicle is extremely maneuverable. The crane chassis moves at the most unusual angles, while the operator uses the outriggers for support. Thanks to this unusual design, the excavator's movements do in fact resemble a dance. In 2011, the audience of the Royal Show in Adelaide were lucky enough to enjoy the most real car dance show. This amazing spectacle featured several Bobcat S185 loaders, which demonstrated amazing synchronization, balancing and driving on the front wheels. A team of 4 operators performed a huge number of tricks, and the audience met them with a stormy ovation. Notes that there is no person in the cab during the demonstration of the capabilities of these excavators, also from the company XCMG. All movements of the ET110 model, as well as wheel manipulation, are all carried out by remote control. The excavator can not only move under different angles, it shows extreme mobility, as it's able to lean on its bucket in the ground, rides on its wheels, opening and closing them to the sides. The ET110 can even hang in the air, high above the ground, relying solely on the bucket and retractable outriggers. The ET111 is able to lower the body to the ground and lift its wheels. In this case, the position of the wheel doesn't depend on each other. This allows the operator to remain stable even when working in mountains and places with a complex terrain. Norwegian company Statoil Fuel and Retail showed how to prepare a hot dog using an excavator and an experienced operator. However, there were no refrigerators or stoves used during the cooking process because the products were prepared in advance. With the help of massive grippers, the excavator first placed the roll on a special holder. After that, it added fresh herbs, onions, sauce, and of course, a sausage. In the end, the excavator not only cooked a hot dog, but also gave it to a friend operator.